Honorable Men Discord, there was a petition created to have Nicki Minaj deported back to Trinidad. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and by all means, if you have something you'd like to share about this episode, I'll see you in the comment section. Listen, gentlemen, I can't make this up. I cannot make this up. There's a petition that was circulating to have Nicki Minaj deported back to Trinidad because of her interview with the Charlie Kirk platform. Okay. Again, I'll say a lot of what I said in my episode that was covering this. Nicki Minaj is not a politician. She may have an opinion as an adult, but she's not a politician. She may have influence as far as her music is concerned and her fan base or her former fan base, but she's not a politician. Furthermore, even if she was a politician, this type of outrage is just insane. Now, I could only assume someone created this as a joke. I wouldn't even think for a moment that this was done as a serious attempt to have it deported. But if I'm wrong in saying that, I think this is ridiculous. So you want someone deported just because of their opinion? Because they don't go against what you like? Because they go against what you like or what you would prefer them support? That's a reason to deport them? How crazy does that sound? That sounds similar to a lot of things that have taken place in this country's history. If you go against the populace, you're a problem, so we need to remove you. Whether literally remove you, as in this petition, or assassinate you. We've seen this all throughout this country's history. But I'm not making this an episode about a history lesson. I'm pretty sure many of you watching this episode are wise and intelligent and have heard of different accounts in this country's history. I just think this is ridiculous. But let's go to some of the things that I have queued up over here with people reacting to this. All right, so let's get into it.
35,000. 35,000 signatures on change.org as of today, right? On a petition calling for the deportation of Nicki Minaj. 35,000. Yesterday it was 13. Today is 35,000. And see, now that this petition went from just being a little joke to actually a conversation starter. See, other people in the Black diaspora are now putting their little, 2 pieces in to the conversation. Some of the things that I've been hearing a lot is, okay, I get it, Black America, because a lot of the what's the word? Backlash is coming from Black America, right? So a lot of, the other Black people in the diaspora is like, okay, I get it, Black America. She fucked up. We're not happy about it either. But don't you think that you're taking it a little too far to have her deported? Don't you think that this is a little bit too much? Like, this is a dramatic reaction. You understand? And I kind of want to explain something to you guys as a Black immigrant. You understand? Living in Black America. Long story short, Black America is reacting like this because they have now realized, or they have the confirmation that Nicki Minaj is a coon. All right? She's willing to sell her platform for whatever it is that she's getting in exchange, right? And the platform is Black America because that's the culture that she assimilated into. That's the culture that was used as a stepping stone to further her career, right? It was the support from Black America that got her to the heights that she's at today, right? Okay. And it's one thing for you to be a coon, but to reveal yourself as a coon after all of the support that you've drained out of this community, they don't like that. There's a big, big, big betrayal, okay? And now let's get into the breakdown. I already know there was going to be some people that scrolled, which is why I just got the long story short version out the way. But now let's get into the breakdown, right? Nicki Minaj is an immigrant from Trinidad, right? She is a Black Caribbean immigrant. When she came to this country, she assimilated into Black American culture, right? While living in Jamaica, Queens, and there is a large Caribbean influence there, here in New York City overall, it's still overly, you understand, Black American culture. At the end of the day, we are in America. So it's to be expected. It's the lingo, it's the swag, you understand, the style, all of that. Nicki Minaj adopted. And it was no problem to Black America as long as you are respectful, right? Had no issue with it. She used that assimilation into Black American culture as a stepping stone, right? That shaped her talent and her artistry. It shaped Roman. It shaped Nicki Minaj. It shaped Harajuku. It shaped all of it. While Harajuku does have some of the Asian influence in there, Black American culture is alive and well throughout Nicki Minaj's talent. You literally see it. It is that assimilation into Black American culture that also grew her fan base of Black Americans, right? Again, outside of LGBT, it's the Black Americans that really put her on. And the Black Americans did so because they felt like they had somebody to relate to. Remember, representation is a really big thing for all of us Black people everywhere, right? And so they felt like they had somebody, a celebrity, an artist that represented them, which is why so many Black Americans were drawn to her. For the last 10, 15, 20 years, Nicki Minaj used that assimilation into Black American culture, you understand, to advance herself. And she reaped the benefits until it was no longer beneficial. And once that opportunity and that moment arrived, she abandoned it. She abandoned the very fan base that grew her to the heights that she is at to.
See, my only concern with this is, are we saying Nicki Minaj intentionally exploited Black American culture for $1? So if Nicki Minaj was born here in the United States and she was a foundational Black American, the FBA, the term that's being used a lot these days, thanks to Nasheed Tariq. All right, I don't mean to butcher his name. If she was born here, would that change the way people feel? Would they make a petition? What kind of petition would they make? Or are they conveniently now, because she's chosen to, I guess, side with the right, for argument's sake, because she chose to side with the right, are they now saying, oh, okay, we only accepted you because you're talented, you're beautiful, but now that you don't side with the agenda that we agree with, we want you out of here? How would that have played out if Nicki Minaj was born here? What would the Black Americans do or choose to do to Nicki Minaj? And by the way, I'm going to continue saying this. I don't even know if this petition was made as a joke and someone's sitting back enjoying seeing the hysteria that's taking place because of this petition. But what exactly are we saying here? And again, I said this in my previous episode, which I'll attach to this. Who's to say this isn't a genuine change of heart? Now, make no mistake about it. The whole part of that interview where she's saying things like she's complimenting how handsome the president is, I think that was intentional. I think she did that because she didn't like the backlash she got from her fan base when she merely applauded President Trump for acknowledging the atrocity that was going on in Nigeria. I think she was shocked and disappointed by the way her fans, particularly the Barbs, which is why the thumbnail looks like that. She was upset that the Barbs, they just attacked her for just applauding him or thanking him for acknowledging what's going on in Nigeria. She merely thanked the man and she got attacked. And I think at that point she realized, wow, how fast would people turn on you? And I'm going to show you all these different perspectives on this whole petition thing. But what I need you to understand is this is exactly why I could care less about being a celebrity. All right. For those of you that don't know, and this is a shameless plug, at one point in time, I was pursuing a music career and I put together an album that I'm going to put out next year. But this is not about me talking about the album. But trust me when I tell you I could care less about being a celebrity or being popular. It's overrated. My privacy is priceless, which I'm sure many entertainers, actors, entertainers, they realize this at some point in time. Your privacy is priceless. I don't care what money you throw at me and what cars I can drive. What good is it if I have no personal privacy. So can it be that Nicki Minaj has just gotten to the point where after all the riches, after all the shoes, all the handbags, all the cars, after acknowledging the president for doing something she believed was noble, and then being attacked by your fans, the ones that you thought had your back, she started to have a revelation like, wow. So what point is it for me to be who I am as a person, as an artist, if the people that I thought loved me is going to attack me? So at that point, I felt like she was all in, and she decided to just say outrageous things. I'm going to chalk it up to she decided to intentionally say that outrageous things as far as what she said about Donald Trump being handsome and all that stuff. I think she basically was just smearing it in people's faces like, listen, I'm going to do what I want. Since you want to turn on me, because let's be clear, she grew up in Southside Jamaica, Queens for a period of time. And I think people get caught up in the marketing and what's put in front of them as far as the artist. She's still that female that had to grow up in a rough side of Queens. So to get that type of backlash from people, she must have been on her like, all right, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to double down. You know, I actually do think she had a genuine transformation, but she started to double down when she started to see the backlash, which I can't blame her for that, because to be honest with you, she's a human being first. This is why I said people get caught up in exalting celebrities as though they're godly like or godlike, and they're not. They're just regular people like you and I that when their belly's full, they take a shit. When they're hungry, they eat. When they're thirsty, they drink. But for some reason, there's a group of people, you know, that start to look at these people like they walk on water. And then when they do something that's outside of what you approve of, all of a sudden you're ready to throw stones at them. This type of stuff has been biblically recorded. There's a lot of stories, and I'm not here to preach, but there's been a lot of stories in the Bible where accounts like this have taken place centuries ago. All right, and this is a perfect example of how fast it's an old saying, they build you up and they break you down. You're never on top forever. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you're in the technology space. I don't care if you're in the sports space. I don't care if you're in the entertainment space. You're never up for forever. The same people that you feel like love you are the same ones behind your back are like, let's get this person out of here. Their time is up. All right, but let's continue.
And the reason why it was easy for Nicki Minaj to be able to do it is because at the end of the day, she is not Black American. She's able to separate herself from the Black American struggle, even though she benefited from the Black American struggle. And that's why this petition to have her deported has 35,000 signatures. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. This is the exact thing that the Black Americans constantly are.
By the way, I'm going to eventually do an episode on this FBA, I don't even know how to word it. I want to word it respectfully. I don't want to say revelation, because it's not a revelation. It's just, they just coined the term for it. But I do want to talk about this further. But again, if Nicki Minaj was born here in the United States, what petition would have been made? What actions would have been made? At most, you guys would have just, and I'm talking to the Barbs, you would have just canceled supporting her concert, canceled buying her music. But because now, out of convenience, it's like, well, because trust me, the Barbs knew she was born in Trinidad. But all of a sudden now it's like, we want to send you back. Come on. If I'm Nicki Minaj, I'm going to triple down, and it's good riddance to all of you. I'm paid already, so think what you want. Why explain anything to anyone? Do like a lot of these entertainers, like a lot of these very successful entertainers like Jay-Z, Eminem, Michael Jordan, and so on and so forth. They don't answer to anyone. They do what they want. Do you think Michael Jordan lost sales on his sneakers when people found out he was behind prisons? He was buying prisons that were primarily filled by black males. You think his sneakers dropped in sales? Please. They're dropping sneakers pretty much every month. So, Nicki Minaj, if you're watching this, take a page out of Jay-Z's book, Eminem's book, Michael Jordan. Those are the three that I could think of right now. I'm sure there's others. Don't address anyone. The problem that she's having is she's showing her emotion as a female. Obviously, the people I mentioned are males, but take a page out of the males, out of the men's book. You're showing emotion you're reacting to everything that the fans do. Just keep on keeping on. Be who you want to be. Like you mentioned in that whole interview, you're doing the opposite by showing your emotion.
To us migrants and Black immigrants about. They're scared about stuff like this because it took 20 years for Nicki Minaj to finally reveal herself as a coon. Or she had the potential to be a coon. And had Black America known this, they would have never put her on.
I'm not calling Nicki Minaj a coon because how many coons are out there that present themselves as supporters of Black culture and of Black people? There's a lot of entertainers that as an outsider looking at them, I suspect they're coons, but they're not showing their hand. But because Nicki Minaj decided to publicly do something which was intentional, she as a grown woman decided to sit on that platform and speak to the public. Now she's a coon. Now she should be deported. It's interesting how the disrespect is piling on for Nicki Minaj, and trust me, she's learning. She's taking notes. I'll tell you one thing. When she decides to say, you know what, I'm not even going to rap anymore, and she takes a hiatus and writes that book, I guarantee you that book is going to tell a lot. It's going to tell a lot about people. People are going to read it and feel bad that they treated her this way for just taking a stand on something she chose to take a stand on. Listen, I'm going to say this. Whatever you believe in, especially if it's against popular opinion, stick to it. And I'm not even saying it has to be something that I agree with. Stick to it. Stick to it even harder than you did before. Because one thing I don't like is, I've said this before, I don't like bullies and I don't like crowds. I don't like groups of people feeling like they have to apply pressure on someone to see things their way. If anything, I'm going to continue not to see it your way. Don't you dare threaten me with the idea of you're leaving or we're not going to support you anymore. Then go ahead. You never supported me in the first place. Where were all these Barbs when she was South Jamaica Queens looking for someone to sign her? When she was with what's this guy's name? I can't think of the guy's name. I think he was like a manager. Can't think of his name, but that's irrelevant at this time. Where was she when she was in the trenches trying to make her way? They weren't there. So you were conveniently there, and I'm talking to the Barbs, you were conveniently there when the success started to rise. And you're the same ones that are behind this nonsense with this petition, signing your name on probably a fraudulent fake petition. And if it's real, it's even worse if it's real. But let's get into someone else.
Not they done made a damn petition on change.org to deport Nicki Minaj. Now that's doing a little too, oh my God. I don't want nobody deported. That's crazy. Like, yeah, I'm pissed off, but that's like, you know, it's going a little too far. It's going a little too far, y'all. Come on now. Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Yo, that's not even it. The kicker is Donald Trump signed it too. My stomach hurts. I don't think it's funny, but it's funny as fuck to me. Like, what? They told her, get her out of here. Bro, y'all is funny as fuck. I did not know that there was a petition being...
I don't believe Donald Trump actually signed that.
Now, who did this? There's two petitions to deport Nicki Minaj back to Trinidad. One is for supporting Trump, and one is for South Africa. The one for South Africa I never even knew about. and it was at 57,000, child. This new one is at 12,000, and I think it's another one somewhere because there's videos going around saying that that one is at 30,000. Y'all not right. Y'all know she been here since she was a kid. Why y'all doing this? People are allowed to have different political views.
Disrespectful. Nicki Minaj, if you're watching this, again, here's another suggestion. Do like Johnny Depp. Leave the country, live over there, go into acting. You have a background in acting. You can act. Go into acting and then write a book when you're ready, and allow Europe to appreciate you. Allow Europe to appreciate you. You're gonna do just fine. You already established a brand. You're liked. You're loved. You're beautiful. You could promote a brand. You can model for a brand. You can go into acting and go into acting hard. Come back even better than you did in music and be a premier actor, and then write a book. Remember, you heard it here first on Honorable Men Discord. Nicki Minaj, if you do what I just told you, you'll be just fine. And then your book should be the final, like just about where you're like at the verge of retiring from acting. You throw that book in there and you make sure you leave a chapter about all this that was going on in the States, because you decided to change your perspective on how you see life and how fast people are ready to just throw stones at you, hypothetical stones at you, for having to change your heart. And by no means am I sitting here agreeing with everything that she said in the interview, because I did not watch all the interview, but I saw more than enough. And even still, it wouldn't have mattered if I saw the whole thing, because I don't exalt anyone on a level where what they decide to do at any point in time in their life is going to affect me. And so that's the point of this episode, and that's the point of the last episode I did. You should not be exalting anyone on a level as though you see them as better than you, better than the average person. They're just people who are blessed, that are talented, that worked hard, or maybe they a door opened for them that doesn't open for everyone else, whatever the reason is. But they are no different than you. Again, they don't stop eating food when they're hungry. They don't stop drinking when they're thirsty, and they don't stop taking a shit when their belly's full. And no, I don't apologize for being this straightforward. I'm saying this to basically get it through some of the minds that are out there that stop exalting people. Let's go into this final clip.
People have signed a petition for Nicki Minaj to be sent back to Trinidad. And she's mad, and now she's threatening and saying that she's not going to make any more albums. And it appears that not too many people, aside from her normal horde of Barbs, that don't seem particularly bothered by the fact. In fact, it seems as though it's pushing more people to sign said petition. Now, although I'm not a Nicki Minaj fan by any stretch of the imagination, I do think that that is a bit extreme. That's just me. I don't wish people are saying, she's not a sister. I don't know if she is or she is not. But I do feel that that's a bit extreme. I know what she said and all the things and stuff like that. And I knew there's going to be plenty of backlash, so it's not beyond the realm of me finding out this information. But it does tickle me, because I know that she had to know that there was going to be backlash. Again, but like I told y'all in the video that I did, I don't think that she really processed the extent that people will go to. And, by her wanting to identify as being, black, in the essence, she has to fucking know that. I mean, come on, Nicki. She know how petty we are. She know how petty black people can be. And when you do things like that and go against, the color that the black very race of people that you've made a platform off of, and now you want to, switch and flop, or maybe just step into the truer light of who she's on with.
I'm confused. Nicki Minaj is black. I don't understand how this sounds like. She's saying like Nicki Minaj presenting herself as black to benefit. She's black. Nicki Minaj is black. Okay? Now, here's what I don't understand with the different perspectives that I just posted here, particularly her and the young lady. So you do know, as a black person, if you go out there in any field, any walk of life, and you excel at it, black people are going to cling on to you because they identify with what they're watching and what they're seeing. They're seeing someone that resembles someone from their neighborhood, someone that looks like someone from their family, someone they may have gone to school with. That's automatic. That's not something that you have to, as a black person, sit down and create this agenda or this plan to take over the world, and I'm gonna use the black fan base to push me forward. It's gonna naturally happen. You think any other nationality is gonna cling on to you? They will, if your product, if your artistry, if your talent is that great. Yes, the world will embrace you, but naturally, the people that are going to embrace you the most are the people that look like you. That's in any field. If you're Asian, you're Latin, you're Indian, if you are any particular nationality and you excel, those that resemble you are going to naturally cling on to you as like their spokesperson. And that's what's happening. I don't like the idea of people making it seem as though she sat back while she was in South Jamaica, Queens, and was like, all right, I'm from Trinidad, but let me get these black people to like me. This is crazy. This is crazy talk. Crazy talk. And anyone that believes that is crazy talk, I'll see you in the comment section if you believe that Nicki Minaj was just plotting to get black American the fans to love her and push her forward. That was going to naturally happen. But let me let this lady finish and I'm going to conclude.
Because I don't know. But my thing is, I know she's suffering now, and I don't think that she's probably hating what she did, but I think she's probably still waffling along the lines of, hey, maybe I shouldn't have did this shit. I knew it was gonna be bad, but I didn't know it was gonna be this bad.
I disagree. She knows exactly what she's doing. Again, I stand on the fact that when she first threw an X tweet, applauded President Trump for acknowledging what was going on in Nigeria. When she saw the backlash she got, she made her decision. She made up her mind then that, wow, look at how these people are turning on me. Did she like seeing her account, her social media account drop in numbers? No. I mean, but then she's just human. This is, again, what I told you at the beginning. Stop exalting people. She's a human being like everyone else. And let me tell you something right now, and I'm going to say this, especially women that have built up a fan base, a bunch of followers. If they lose any female on this planet that cares about social media, if they lose all those subscribers and fans that they have on social media, they're gonna feel defeated. They're gonna feel down about it. It does not exclude someone on Nicki Minaj's level. So you just double that, because now she's seeing it drastically drop and she feels like, wow, it's all crumbling. But Nicki, it's not crumbling. You'll be all right. You have a bank account, you have intelligence, you have talent. If you were talentless, then possibly it's all crumbling. If you were a fluke, if you were one hit wonder, then possibly it's all crumbling. But Nicki, we know you're talented. Again, and this is just a suggestion. If you're feeling like the world's crumbling down on you, leave the States. You have the money, get in the state, figure out how to get citizenship in another country and rebuild, act. Let your talent out through acting. Show people that you're not to be played with. Music is light. There's so many people claiming to be rap artists now. Forget it. You're beyond talented. And so this, and I'm just throwing this in here to make a point. When you were going through your constant feud with Cardi B, Nicki, and this is for Nicki again, if Nicki ever comes across this, Nicki, you're super talented. And this is in my opinion, and this is no shot at Cardi B. Cardi B's got to know, based on what I've heard, that she doesn't write her songs. Cardi B has got to know she's not more talented than you, Nicki. And I'm not saying this to make this about Nicki and Cardi, but I am saying this to make this point. Nicki, don't for 1 minute feel like you're defeated. Hang up the music, because clearly they're going to find ways not to support you now or blackball you, which I'm pretty sure you were alluding to that was already going on. And I'm not going to bring up that company, but you were alluding to foul play in the music industry. And you also alluded to that in the interview. Hang it up over here. Take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. Find residence someplace else. Right? Regroup and pour your energy when you're ready. When you feel like you fulfilled your time with your family and your loved ones. And dive into acting. And by all means, finish with a book. Trust me, those of you watching, if there's some angry Barbs watching, if she does what I just mentioned and she excels even further than she did with the music, you heard it here first with Honorable Men Discord. But that's my take on this. What is your take on all this nonsense with this petition? I'm all here for it. I want to see what you got to say in the comment section. But as always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay honorable.